evening to everyone, and hope you had a great day today because today, yep, we're talking about it. We're still talking about a upcoming potential nor'easter or a bombogenesis nor'easter, meaning it could be a bomb cyclone and possible blizzard conditions. So let's get right into it. Okay, here we are right now. We have a dip in the jet stream right now, all the way down through probably the southern states right now. As we progress forward, we do have some of that snow moving into Texas and New Mexico, bringing some sort of snowfall to portions of Texas, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some snow accumulations in southern Oklahoma. But here we go. Here's our main show right here. We have a clipper system that brings down a huge swath of cold air. And we have a low pressure system that forms late this week. Now, what's that going to do? It's going to match up with this clipper right here. And there we go. We have a nor'easter on our hands. We have a Miller A nor'easter. I was going to say Miller B. Miller B is usually when it goes cross country. This goes from the Gulf. So this is a Miller A nor'easter. We have some of that snow moving in all the way down through South Carolina, all the way to Delaware, and even up to through Boston, Massachusetts. Some snow for Maine. By this point, we have huge widespread amount of snow, especially for the coastlines getting the most. And that storm does move up. I haven't talked about this, but I am using the GFS model right now. And wow, look at that. Cold air all the way down through pretty much Tallahassee, Florida, through Pensacola, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, southern Mississippi, and New Orleans, getting in on some of that freezing temperatures. But here we go. Here's where it really intensifies and amplifies. And there we go. 975. This is a classic nor'easter. It's usually a classic nor'easter if it means like Virginia all the way up to Maine type nor'easter. Look, Virginia up to Maine, Norfolk, Virginia, all the way up to Bangor, Maine. This is going to be especially very, very intense because that is when it really intensifies right here. Getting really heavy snow bands moving in through the east coastlines of New England, which will bring a huge amount of snowfall for definitely the coast. And then this just slams into Nova Scotia as a big snowstorm, and it really amplifies there. But then the GFS does end there. So what I'm actually going to do is just going to switch over to the Euro model, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay, now we are here with the European model. A model that actually says this storm will be way more intense than the GFS is saying. It's going to be a blizzard, pretty much, and also a bomb cyclone. Now, we do have that cold air moving through with that little clipper system that's going to match up with some of this moisture down here, which produces a low pressure system right around here somewhere. Here we go. It took a while. So, yeah, this is not until late week. The European mall starts a little bit late, but here we go. It meets up with this clipper and a lot of cold air going right down. And here we go. Bam. Look at that. This one's a little bit hugging the coast. It literally drops from 1,002 millibars down to 973. This is intense. 967 now. And it just gets so intense that it just loses all of its moisture and just wraps around rapidly. So the European model says that at the very end of the storm, you could be looking at widespread moderate to heavy snowfall with whiplashing winds, like heavy winds, which means that blizzard conditions are possible. I mean, it could probably even be a blizzard itself. And look at that. That's it. But taking a little bit forward in time, we have a huge snowstorm coming for the Great Lakes. And we are actually going to do that next. After this snowstorm, if it does happen, it's probably more likely now. I'm giving it a 60 to 80% chance of becoming nor'easter at this point. Blizzard, 20 to 40% at this time. It's a lot of uncertainty. But After the snowstorm passes, we are going to be talking about that Great Lakes snowstorm as it happens. So let's just look at the total snowfall amounts. And actually, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to pull up each model, the GFS versus the European model. Alright, here we go with the total snowfall amounts from each of the models. On the left here, where my mouse is, that's where the GFS is. And on the right here, we have the European model. Now, can you point out the differences? Yes, I can clearly point that out. The GFS is way more offshore over here, where the storm is, and the European model hugs the coast right here, really close. Now, all that heavy snowfall is still in the same areas. These pockets right here near the Delmarva and Cape Cod also are in the European model. Cape Cod and the Delmarva look to be the main targets for the snowstorm. Sorry. This will bring down a more widespread amount if you are looking at the Euro model. GFS model, less widespread, but we can definitely see near Cape Cod, there's going to be a major bullseye. Someone's going to get over 3 feet of snowfall. While on the European model, it says that the Delmarva is actually going to get the most snowfall out of anybody, especially southern Delaware, which is kind of surprising because you don't really talk about Delaware because usually you would expect some mixing conditions to happen. But no, it's something different this time. And also Long Island. This could be the difference between actually a few inches of snow in New York City to more than a foot. So you can clearly point out those differences there. And this is just insane how different these models are. But we can clearly say that New England will definitely have the worst of it. Because the Mid Atlantic, it's really, really, really pretty big differences here between both the models. But for New England, it's a basic general agreement here. It's just like the European model just makes it more intense than GFS. So that will be it for the snowfall totals, but here we go with the weather fact of the day. Okay, here's your weather fact of the day, I guess. Snowflakes aren't always unique. Snow crystals usually form unique patterns, but there's at least one instance of identical snowflakes in the record books. In 1988, two snowflakes connected from a Wisconsin storm were confirmed to be twins in an atmosphere research center in Colorado. Wow, that's very interesting. I usually thought every snowflake was at least a little different from each other. So this is really cool to hear. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and also be on the lookout if you are in the path of the storm because man, it's gonna get intense probably. So without a doubt, let's end this video saying Ty interpreting weather out.